Yesterday, I closed a consulting deal for $25,000, and today I'm going to break it down for you guys right now. So, if you're new to the channel, my name is Jeremy Pogue, and I do a lot of high-ticket sales for coaching and consulting, and I'm also a sales coach. So, I help a lot of people make a lot of money, and yeah, change a lot of people's lives. So, anyways, let's get straight into it. I don't like when people dick around. So, anyways, yeah, yesterday's 25K consulting sale. So, there's a few components that I want to break down. This is kind of the core aspect of the call itself, right? Really, I'm going to talk about setting the frame and kind of the mental game of talking to bigger prospects. So a lot of our clients, especially when they're first starting out, especially when I was first starting out, it can be very intimidating talking to people who are making like 20, 30, 40 grand a month and wanting to get to like 100K a month next month. So I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of the mental game there and what it takes to kind of set the frame and just kind of put yourself in the right state of mind to be able to really just approach the call with a lot of conviction and confidence. So once we do that, I'm going to go over the framework of the call, right? What kind of questions to ask, kind of a bit of a script. And actually, I'm going to throw a huge bonus for you guys. I'll add that right now. If you stick around to the end, I will literally show you, we're giving away our sales script literally for free right now. So I'll cover how to get that, but it won't really matter too much if you don't know how to use it. So yeah, I'll show you guys how to get that. It's awesome. I literally used it yesterday to close 25K, and I use it pretty much for every sale. But anyways, then we'll go into presenting the offer, right? How to actually present your offer and kind of customize it to them. I'll make a video on this another time. That's a whole nother animal to tackle. So. And then we'll go into the objection handling. I can't tell you how many objections I got from this sale, and it is hilarious. So we'll dive deep into that as well. This is probably gonna be a longer video because there's just so much here. Maybe I'll break this down into separate videos another time as well. And then we'll go into how I ask for the close, right? Sometimes you gotta ask multiple times to kind of follow this process called looping. But anyways, I'll go into holding the frame and really just leading the call to the close as well. So yeah, and then the bonus, literally giving you guys the sales script for free. Yeah, so I don't know why we're doing that, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to be super helpful for you guys, so I'm really excited about it. But anyways, setting the frame and the mental game of talking to bigger prospects. So this was one thing that was really tough for me at the start, especially because I had a lack of confidence and conviction in what I was selling, because I was still pretty new to the game, right? I hadn't really gotten a ton of case studies at the time and stuff like that. But now, because I'm selling something that is literally the best thing ever and literally changes people's lives every single day, and it's super cool and super fun and exciting, I don't really have this problem anymore. So long answer short, get good at what you do and you'll have no problem doing this. But also it's important to understand that like different people are at different stages of the game, right? So let's say we've got Jack over here, and Jack is doing about, let's say his current situation is he's just starting out, right? Jack wants to get to 10K a month, right? Jack's gonna have a lot of different problems, and he's gonna need a much different kind of help than Jill, who's over here on this side of the hill, and her point A, she's already doing 10K a month and she wants to get to 30K a month, right? Well, she's going to need a different level of support to get from 10 to 30K, right? There's going to be different things that she needs. Chances are she's probably got her offer validated and she's booking some calls, she's okay at sales, and really just going to require a different type of support. And then you've got, let's say, John over here who's doing his point A, right? John's point A, he's doing 30K a month, and his point B is he wants to be doing 100K a month, right? So it's important to kind of segment your audience here and really realize like who can you actually help and what can you help them with and how can you help them get to where they want to be. So if you're just starting out, like probably don't try to help people get from 30 to 100K a month if you haven't done it yourself or helped anybody else do it, because then you might be shooting yourself in the foot. So kind of stay in your lane to a degree, but really build a rock solid foundation, right? If we got a pyramid, it's like this is like the 30 to 100, this is like the 10 to 30, and this is the 0 to 10, right? Start here, build a rock solid foundation, master the fundamentals, and then you can move up, right? And then you can move up from there. So that's important to understand, right? To really just kind of internalize that. But also, like, really just, if you truly can help somebody, then, like, what's the problem, right? Why can't you help them? And why can't you speak to them? Like, let's say, like, we've helped so many people make this leap from 30 to 100K a month, so we have absolute conviction that we can do it. So when somebody is doing like 30K, it's like, okay, cool, you're just somebody else, right? I kind of view every prospect as the same because every sale is pretty much the same. And I'll go into that in a sec with the framework and pretty much the script and everything as well. But that's really important to understand, right? Every prospect, like every sale is the same, but every prospect is a little bit different. So make sure you're actually helping somebody that you can actually help. Otherwise, you're kind of blowing smoke and promising something that you can't deliver on, and we don't want that here. If you do that kind of stuff, then stop watching my videos, because that's not what we're here to do. We're here to help people out and change their lives. So anyways, let's get straight into it. So setting the frame, right? Literally setting the frame exactly how I would do it with any other prospect. And one of the things that's really helpful for me as well with, like, when I am talking to somebody who's doing like 30, 50, 100K a month, looking to scale to like 1, 2, 300K a month, it's kind of the same thing. It's not that intimidating anymore. And I don't really stutter. I don't like, there's absolute conviction in my tonality because I've practiced setting the frame so many times, speaking with like a ton of people in kind of the 0 to 30K a month mark. So when I go to set the frame for somebody who's doing like 30 to 100, well, it's no different. It's just muscle memory, right? I've practiced it so many times. I've gone over the same sales training, like I can't even tell you how many times, and practiced it, watched literally hundreds of call recordings of myself and of our clients as well, to just really internalize that. So if you find that you are kind of getting intimidated by talking to bigger prospects, well, maybe stack some smaller wins first, right? Really build your foundation, get some case studies there, and then once you kind of do the thing or help somebody else do the thing, well, then you can do it more often, right? Success breeds success. So stack those wins, build your foundation, and then move on to the next. But anyways, getting into the framework. So how do you approach this? How do you approach a sales call with somebody who's doing 30 to 100K? Well, it's the same thing. It's literally no different than somebody who's at 0 trying to get to 10. It's literally the exact same process and framework and questions that I ask. Well, questions might be a little bit different because they have different problems. But anyways, it's the same process, the same framework, the same script, like literally everything. I don't like calling it a script because like it's so easy to see right through a script. I like to call it a framework. And if we look at this, kind of the framework, it's like, well, what's in common between Jack, Jill, and John? They're all where they are right now, and they all want to be somewhere else, right? Their desired situation is not their current situation. So that said, the questions that I'm asking are A, exploring their current situation to find some sort of pain point or leverage, and then B, asking questions about where they want to get to and why they can't do it and why they need help, to give me some sort of leverage to then present my offer and tailor it to them there, right? So in terms of my approach, like I literally followed the same framework and come from the same line of thinking for somebody who's doing like 30K versus somebody who's doing 0, right? It's the same thing. In order to get somebody to make a buying decision with you, well, there needs to be some point of leverage and some sort of reason for them to actually pull the trigger and pay you money on the call. So that said, kind of the same framework. And like I said before, stick around towards the end of this video. I'm pretty much going to be explaining the whole script in this video right now, or at least the framework of it, to really give you a solid foundation. But then I'll show you literally how to get the script itself, so that you can have it and pair it with this video to really use it as a lethal weapon, ethically, of course, because everybody on here, everybody that's watching this video does good work and helps people out. So we're actually doing our clients a disservice by not getting them to pay us money. That's the way I look at it. That's the way you should too. And if you don't do that, then stop watching my videos. So cool. Presenting the offer. So after I've explored their current situation, their desired situation, I've found some sort of leverage, and I've identified a problem they have that I can actually help them with, that I actually can help them fix, then I tell them how we can help them, right? I present the offer. Now, everybody's going to be a little bit different, and this is very important to understand. So your product might be the same, but the prospect is going to be different. We're in the people-to-people business, and since we're dealing with people, every person is unique. Every person has different problems. Every business has different problems as well. So it's really important to understand that you need to kind of tailor your offer to them, their specific problems. So for example, I'll give you kind of a bit of an illustration here to kind of visualize this. So if, let's say I have like my 3 pillars of my offer here, they have like 3 distinct problems. Well, if my pillars don't align, like my offer that I have here doesn't align necessarily with the problems that they have, then when I present it, we're going to be kind of butting heads. There's going to be some friction because they're going to be like, oh, well, I kind of just need like this one thing and like maybe a little bit of this, but like I feel like I've got this dialed in. I don't really need that, right? So then you might get and be like, okay, well, I feel like I only need like one of the 3 things. Can I get it for a third of the price? And you're like, no, that's not the point. But what we want to do is like, they don't care what we do. They only care what we can do for them. And that is extremely important to understand. If you can internalize what I just told you there, that golden nugget, you will make literally a ton of money and never have to worry about money ever again, whether you use that principle in your sales, in your marketing, and in your offer, right? They don't care what you do, only what you can do for them. Therefore, we need to customize our offer to present it to their specific needs, right? So these people specifically, they wanted to raise their prices, right? They have a 5K offer right now. They want to crank it up to 15 or 20K. So I talked about that. And then they need to get more consistent calls booked on the calendar, right? They want higher volume, but also more consistency, and we can help them do that. And then of course, sales, helping them sell something at 15 to 20K, it's going to be a little bit of a different ballgame. A lot around, like mostly the same, general framework, but it's going to be a little bit different. So then I talked about that, right? And then if they're serious, like, well, they are serious about scaling 100K a month, and they're going to need a few other things as well. So that said, when I presented my offer, it was like literally just touching on those 3 problems that like the 3 core problems that they had, right? And then therefore it was like a good fit, and it just kind of clicked, and like, okay, that kind of makes sense. And then yeah, so make sure you're doing that, because if you don't, then you're going to get a lot of friction with the offer. But anyways, yeah. So how this call went, like this sale is extremely interesting. So it actually took the 3rd call to close, because the first call I had one of the partners, and then I didn't know he had a partner. I should have asked this earlier on in the call. I didn't know he had a partner until the end. He's like, oh, dude, this sounds awesome. I totally see the value. I see how you guys can help us get there. But I just need to talk to my partner. And I was like, oh, gosh. So that was a bit of a dagger, a bit of a, yeah, lesson learned there. Make sure you figure out if they have a partner, or if they are the one that makes the buying decisions solely. So therefore, how to handle this, very straightforward, is set up a follow-up call. We set it for the next day, with the partner on the call as well. So then there were 3 of us. And in the meantime, I told him, all right, before this call, it's extremely important that I'll send you the call recording for our conversation today. Make sure your partner watches it before our call tomorrow, so they actually have some context as to what they're saying yes or no to. If they don't, then we'll have to reschedule. So I made it crystal clear that was a prerequisite for moving forward with the call tomorrow. Because if the partner, I learned this lesson the hard way with another 25K deal back, like one of my first ones. that didn't close is because the partner didn't watch the call recording, and then they hopped on the call and they had no context whatsoever around what we were talking about, and they were just grilling me with questions, super skeptical. They had no idea who I was, what we did, what we could help them with, and they didn't really understand like what problems they actually had in their business too. And then the first partner that I spoke with was like 100% on board. He was totally sold, but then the second partner came in and just like absolutely threw it away. And that's what almost happened here too. However, I recovered it by making sure that the partner actually watched the call recording before a follow-up call. And however, though, because she wasn't necessarily in the same emotional state as the first partner that I spoke with on the first call, there was a lot of uncertainty and lack of trust as well, which I had to handle. So in our first call with the first partner, honestly, there weren't many objections because the offer was like just totally dialed in, and he 100% was like pretty much sold. But then the partner was the one that kind of writes the checks, so that was interesting. But anyways, lots of pretty much every objection she had stemmed back to uncertainty, and that's really important to understand. So I've made a video about how to. I think I made a video about how to isolate objections, or maybe this was a coaching call inside of CB. I'm not too sure. You'll have to check the channel. If not, I'll make another one. But anyways, pretty much every objection kind of comes back to like uncertainty, right? The most common ones are like partner uncertainty, and then like maybe like finances. If, like they literally have like $100 in their bank account. It's like, all right, whatever. But for here, they had the money, and now I had to handle this and this from the partner. So partner one was on board, partner two was not because they were uncertain. They were a little bit out of context, so it was a lot harder to kind of push them over the ledge there. And really, partner two's main uncertainty, like when she would ask a question or kind of give an objection, what I like most of the time, it's a smoke screen, right? It's not what they actually have in mind. What really, like, our job as a salesperson is to get to the core root of that question. Where does that question stem from? Does it stem from uncertainty? Chances are, most likely, yes, right? So therefore, I had to kind of ask some questions. So when she would ask me a question, I wouldn't answer, right? I pretty much wouldn't answer. I'd be like, okay, help me understand this. Like, is the reason behind this question because like it kind of sounds like you're looking for a bit of like a clear roadmap, like kind of exactly like what will be helping you with and stuff like that. And obviously you don't want to go into the technicals, you don't want to go into the tool talk, but sometimes people do just need to see that logically. So when your argument is logically airtight, then emotionally they'll be a lot more on board as well, right? So anyways, that was kind of the case here. So, and then she's like, yeah, actually that's exactly what I'm looking for. I was like, okay, ideally they would fucking tell you, but that wasn't the case here. And I had to kind of isolate their objection to get down to the core root of it, which was they were uncertain about like what the process, the roadmap, or the timeline would be in terms of actually helping them get to where they are or where they want to be, right? So then once I did that, then she's like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Now I can really see how this can work. And then throughout this process as well, going for the close, moving on to the next thing, like holding the frame and leading the call to the close, leading is very important, right? So I just kept looping as well. And I'm pretty sure I made a video on this as well. I got to check my videos. But anyways, looping is extremely important. But anyways, going for the close, right? Once I kind of isolated an objection, and she was like, okay, yeah, got it. That makes sense. I'm like, okay, cool. So how's everything sounding? Do you see how we can help you get to 100K a month and sustain that? And that was another objection she had. She's like, well, like, are you going to help us like hit 100K and then like it's kind of like a house of cards and then we're going to fall back down to like 30? And then so I had to walk, like kind of explain away her concerns. Like, well, no. We're really focused on building a solid foundation and sustaining it, right? It's just a vanity metric if you hit 100K one month and then you never do it again. just to say you hit 100K a month, right? Nobody wants that. People just want to sustain that. And that's what we help our clients with as well. So therefore, that was kind of another objection. And then once I kind of explained that, then explained away her concern, then she was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, okay, so how's everything sounding? Like on a scale from 1 to 10, like where do you see us helping? Like where do you see this fitting? Or something like that. Or be like, okay, cool. So like, how's everything sounding? And then be like, and then if like, I probably asked like 5 or 6 times. I probably looped 5 or 6 times to actually ask for the close before they said, okay, you know what? Let's do it. It's like, awesome. And then from there, that's when you lead the call. Be like, great. So in terms of next steps, what we'll do is we'll handle the payment right now. And then from then, and then once that's settled, then I'll get you onboarded. What that'll look like is X, Y, Z. And then we can really hit the ground running and just get rocking and rolling to help you guys just absolutely blow 100K a month out of the water and sustain that. So that's going to be the overall structure of the call. That's the breakdown. If you guys have any specific questions about any part of this as well, leave a comment below or send me a message over on Instagram too. I'm really active on there, and that's kind of the best way to get a hold of me. But anyways, bonus, sales script, what you've all been waiting for. Join our Facebook group. So it should be like something along the lines of like scaling your 6-7-figure online business with Trey Cockrum. And anyways, in there, I think it's in the resources section, there's a Google Doc form of the sales script, and you literally join the group for free and then get the sales script as well. So yeah, that's awesome. It's an extremely valuable resource. It's literally the same script that I followed to, well, framework, I like to call it, but same thing I got it, or same thing I followed to get that 25K close, which is pretty neat. And anyways, yeah, so if you guys like this video, please like the video, hit the like button, absolutely annihilate the like button. And if you're not subscribed already, what are you doing? If you hate money, then don't subscribe. But if you like money and you like helping people out and changing their lives, then hit the subscribe button, because I'll make a lot more of these videos. Other than that, guys, I make these videos because I find this stuff just a ton of fun. I really enjoy this kind of stuff. I do this stuff every single day, and I help our clients do the same thing too. But anyways, I kind of wish I had this stuff for free when I was first starting out on my journey. So hopefully you guys took away something from this. Hopefully this was valuable for you. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.